What's up, everybody? Dan Greer, Eclipse DOT, and today I'm coming to talk to you all about DOT compliance and the top 5 mistakes that we see within companies all over the world. So we work nationwide with all kinds of companies all over the place. And you want to know what the top 5 mistakes are that we see? Number 1 mistake that we see more often than not is that people think their driver files are in compliance. Actually, the number 1 mistake we see is that people don't have their driver files separated from their personnel files. It's just one file, and they're like, oh, we're good. We got it all right here. And then they get audited, and they give them everything. They give them write-ups, they give them everything for that person. Huge mistake. Do you know why it's a huge mistake? Because you just gave them all the ammunition. The officer comes in and goes, dude, I need your gun. And you got to give them the gun because they ask for it, okay? So you give them the gun. Doesn't mean you got to give it to them loaded. Doesn't mean you got to tell them where all the ammunition is hidden. So when you give them a personnel file, you're literally giving them a loaded gun to work with. Right? Crazy, I know. So that's the number 1 mistake that we see. The number 2 mistake that we see across the board is not maintaining vehicle maintenance files. Now, vehicle maintenance files aren't hard. You just write down what you did to your trucks when you did to them. When you got a giant fleet of thousands of vehicles, it gets a little tough. But when you've got a fleet of like 4 or 5, all it takes is a spreadsheet, dude. Brian changed the light in this truck. Joe changed the air filter in this truck. We did an oil change on this truck. Here's the miles, right? Like, just document it. You're going to do that for your personal vehicle, aren't you? Do you document when you change oil in your car? You probably, right? Like, you probably are like, oh, yeah, need to have this documented. Need to know when it is. Like, you may not. You may not be like, oh, but you know when to change it, right? How hard would it be to have a notebook in that truck that you write in, dude did this, and the drivers can write in, dude did this, okay? So that's like the number 2 mistake that we see. The number 3 mistake we see right now, really prevalent, not doing clearinghouse queries. So people aren't actually pulling clearinghouse queries for all their CDL drivers. They've never pulled a full query, and they're not pulling limited queries for them. So those are probably the biggest mistakes we see. Number 4 is going to be not properly training your drivers. So you have non-qualified drivers operating commercial vehicles. Now, what I mean by that is that you've got a driver who has a driver's license but not a med card operating a commercial vehicle that's a non-CDL vehicle. So depending on what state you're in, depending on where you operate, you might have a commercial vehicle that's a non-CDL. And if you're crossing state lines, then there's different rules around that, okay? So, like, that's probably number 4. It might even go up to, like, number 2. Sometimes it's number 1, just lack of knowing. I saw a truck this morning. I'm here in Illinois. I saw a truck this morning that had a pickup in a trailer, no DOT numbers on the trailer. It's definitely a DOT company. They have DOT numbers. No DOT numbers on the truck, I should say. And Illinois is a 10,000-pound state. So in order to operate that vehicle, you got to have DOT numbers on the truck, and the driver has to have a med card. Like, I see stuff like that all over the place. And I'd say that's probably the number 1 thing. I call it driver education, but I also think it's actually company education, just not knowing. And then the last one that I'm going to bring up today is very simple. It's trying to do it all yourself in-house. And you're paying way more money than you should be to do that in-house because you've got a full person salary and you're like, yeah, but they do this, this, and this. Okay. But are they experts in anything that they do? Like, here's my question. And I use this analogy. Actually, I've never used this analogy, but I'm going to start using it because I like it a lot. If you have a brain surgeon, if you have to get brain surgery, do you want to get brain surgery from somebody who's done it 2 or 3 times, or somebody who does it 10 times a day, all day long, every day of the year? Right? You want to get it from the dude who's got the experience. You want to get it from the gal who knows what she's doing, from the people who actually take care of this stuff. DOT is the same way. Taxes are the same way. When you do taxes, you're going to go hire somebody that knows nothing about taxes and be like, oh, I'm going to train you to be an accountant. No, you're going to hire somebody that's got experience. And the people who don't, you may hire somebody underneath them to train at some point, right? Learn how to do this so we can take it over. Great idea, right? But don't hesitate to get some experts on your team, because when it comes to brain surgery, got news for you. I don't want Joe over there with a chainsaw coming in my head. I want a well-trained surgeon with the right tools coming at me. All right. Hope you guys enjoyed. We'll talk to you later.